Good evening. I'd like to call to order the council meeting for June 5th, 2017. Please stand for invocation, and Councilperson Ellis is going to do the honor for us tonight.
Let us pray. Gracious God, we thank you. We thank you for your mercy, your grace, and your understanding. And Lord, we ask that you be present with us. Send your Spirit, spend your guidance here, so that the things that we do, the things we say, and the actions that we take will be acceptable to you. Bless and keep our city. Bless and keep our state. And Lord, help our world. Help our world. We need you to step in, take over, and guide us all. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, we'd like to point out that Reverend Ellis is here for strong because Scott will be back.
That's right, man. Amen.
Have a roll call, please.
Yes. Councilperson White, Councilperson Sostovny, Councilperson Juan.
Present.
John. I don't know what I was saying.
She knew what you meant.
I know.
Sorry about that. Councilperson Maples. Here. Welcome back.
Yay.
Councilperson Hawkins.
Here.
Council President Gill.
Here.
Councilperson Owen.
Here.
Councilperson Ellis.
Present.
Councilperson Samuel.
Here.
Okay. Welcome back, Scotty. Minutes to be approved are regular proceedings of May 15th, 2017. I just caught a little typo just as while I was sitting here.
Okay.
Just on the third page, just the number 2, and unfinished business. My name isn't Liz, it's Lisa, L-I-S-A, so it's an easy little thing to fix, but no problem.
I don't know. Might call you Liz.
Motion to approve with the change.
I'll second.
I'll be abstaining.
Okay, we got a motion and a second, and one abstention. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. We have to approve of the agenda, and as you all know, we will be removing item number 15. And if Mr. Merkley, if you please explain why we're removing that, I'd appreciate that.
Yes, previously in the past, we have been required to renew the cum cap development fund, that tax rate, every 3 years. That's why it was on the agenda tonight, because there's a deadline coming up that we thought was a deadline, but then after Finance discussed this with Department of Local Government Finance, they changed the rule on us. It's no longer necessary unless we are going to change the rate, which we are not asking for a rate to be changed. It will just continue, so we need to take no action whatsoever on this. It needs to be removed.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. So can I have a motion for the agenda with that removal, please?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Claims to be approved. Heather, general first, and you do have a hand carry.
I have a hand carry that's $100 even.
Oh, okay.
It's from the mayor's office for, it's the 7th annual World Dwarf Games. It's going to a little boy who's 10. It's not going to him, it's going towards his trip to Canada. I have the paperwork here if anybody wants to see it.
I did when I was going through claims on Friday. Christy did let me know that that was
Going to be
it was
coming.
asked and it was late, and I said, as long as you get everything to Heather, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
There was no issue with the claims, and little things that I found, they were taken care of while I was in Friday.
I have a new total for you. It's $855,568.56.
Is there any questions on claims? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the claims with the $100 hand carry. It brings the total $855,568.56. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Parks claims.
There's no changes on that. Total is $208,344.97.
They were all in order, so if there's not any questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
Got a motion and a second that pass the parks claims for $208,344.97. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Report of the clerk.
I don't have anything at this time other than to say, welcome back. Thank you. We missed you.
Okay, thank you. So we will move on to our unfinished business, which is Sarah Green, and you all do have make sure you're looking at the right ordinance that Mr. Merkley passed out at the beginning of the meeting. Unfortunately, we knew last council meeting that Sarah could not attend tonight. There's no changes, and then I'll let you just discuss the little change that was made.
Yes, we made the dramatic change and the dramatic addition of peacocks to the definition of livestock. Nothing else has changed since the last time it was presented to you, so.
Motion to pass 2017 OR 23 on the third and final reading? Second.
Got a motion and a second to pass 2017 OR 23 in the third and final. Any more discussion?
I have a question.
Okay.
here. I almost said Your Honor.
No, please.
Parliamentary procedure question. Once a motion's been made, is it too late to amend it? Only with the agreement of the person who made the original motion?
Person who made the motion could yield to that, but
I do have some concerns with respect to this, and I don't know how the rest of the council feels about it, but I have spoken to a couple of constituents and had some discussions about certain aspects. So what I would like to do, or what I will do, is move to amend the ordinance removing roosters and ducks from page 11, section 15, increasing the limit of chickens from 5 to 10, and removing the last sentence in that paragraph, which starts with, "It shall be unlawful to keep or maintain any coop," and ends with 50 feet from the dwelling. Some of my constituents don't have 50-foot yards, and they have these animals.
Well,
I would note that the last sentence, the 50 feet from any dwelling, is already part of the ordinance.
It is?
So maybe.
Now, the other things that you mentioned, I think were additions, but I'm not sure if there's a number already in there or not.
I personally don't agree with the changes without talking with Sarah, and this is the third meeting now we've discussed this, and I knew she wasn't going to be here tonight, or I would have asked her about it. So I apologize for not getting hold of her, but I hate to spend a lot of time. I understand so can we do a compromise maybe on some of this?
Well, if I'm not mistaken...
I have a lot of complaints about roosters in my district.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, I do believe the ordinance has 5 chickens, because that's when people call in, that's what we tell them, only 5
That's already the
chickens.
ordinance.
So that's not a change?
No, the only thing that's changed is the actually ducks, geese, and pigeons.
What about
Because we've
roosters?
always had roosters.
And I'll just make the comment that I would assume that Sarah supports the ordinance that was presented, and just from previous experience, even with Sarah, that what she presents us is what she wants. So I don't know if going back and having a conversation with her, I don't think she wants to compromise on any of these things.
So, and the reason it was 5 chickens in the original ordinance, because the sides of the coop being within the city, you run into a lot of health risks and issues with even more chickens than that. So I know that was a huge part of it.
Are roosters in the current ordinance?
No, roosters are banned.
So if someone in my district had a pond or a lake, because I have some areas that have a lot of acreage, and they bought ducks to be on their pond.
They're grandfathered in.
What if they decided to buy ducks next year? Would that be considered harboring ducks?
That is not how we should be passing ordinances.
harboring a fugitive would be providing a place for them to maintain.
I know, I've got the answer before that, well, we're not really looking at that, but I feel like when we're creating ordinances, we shouldn't be making exceptions of not enforcing the ordinance. So, would that fall underneath this ordinance, that they would be in violation of it?
I don't, I would assume so, but we didn't really address ponds. I mean, it's different having a duck as a pet and having a duck in its, in its pond where I don't think it'll be,
Yeah, but in my career field, I
Not
deal
kept
with
in the house
neighbor
or-
disputes all the time, and if they can find one thing to call enforcement action on you, they will.
Yeah.
And if you have a couple ducks in your pond and your neighbor don't like you, and you have the police being called on you or animal enforcement, I just feel like some areas, there's not very many ponds in District 1. There's quite a few in District 4. I'm sure there's a few in District 6.
I would suspect, though, that unless you clip your duck's wings, they're fancy ducks.
That could be true.
Well, I have a
Let's just-
constituent that has a duck, and I actually saw them walking their duck. I'm
well, and
serious.
they're grandfathered in because.
Down Riverside
Yeah.
Drive.
But
I've
they
seen
have no
that.
wings with.
Absolutely. So let me restate my motion to amend to remove roosters and ducks.
Well, I
And
think
you know-
roosters is the point of this whole amendment,
This-
and that's the thing, the only one I've got. In fact, I was at somebody's house that lives on Kiwanis, I don't know whose district that is,
Half of it's mine.
and the people behind them had these roosters where every morning at 5:30, the dogs go crazy because this rooster does his business. That would be the only thing I would want put on there. Like, I don't care how many
Well,
ducks you have, that doesn't really make a difference to me, but if you're waking up everybody in the neighborhood.
They're grandfathered in though, so that
Right,
was,
right.
And, it's no secret that I voted no on the first two readings of this ordinance, but that was a question that I asked, and there still is a legal avenue where that's in violation of our city noise ordinance. So, there is an avenue for property owners to pursue that if they really feel like
Well,
legal
I could
action
tell
is
you some
necessary.
stories about how the noise ordinance doesn't really mean anything, but I
Well,
won't embarrass anyone
that's a whole
that's standing in
separate, that's a whole separate issue. But in a court,
Right.
having an ordinance, that's what the basis of a legal.
But Scott is correct. This whole, when Sarah called me and said, hey, I need to amend, I need to add roosters because we're getting calls after calls after calls, I think that was the whole basis of this.
So let's regroup real fast. So the motion to pass this as presented by Berkeley was made by who?
I mean,
Okay, so Ed made it, and you yielded to Mr. White to make, and Dustin, you're making a motion to amend.
Correct.
So you made, what in your motion to amend is as follows, which,
To remove roosters and ducks.
so he's made a motion to amend the ordinance as presented to remove roosters and ducks.
But we haven't had a second yet.
Correct.
Correct.
So you're having discussion now. All right, so where are we at in discussion? Anybody else?
Well,
So
it
we
fails
need to
for lack
vote
of
on
a
the
second
amendment?
unless,
I was going to say, at that point, when you in discussion, we'll
I think Ed's motion is on the table, and his motion stands as stated unless he consents to the changes that Dustin's outlined.
not necessarily that he will vote for them.
yeah. So, and you just want to get rid of the ducks and roosters?
Yeah.
That's fine, I'll amend my motion to comply with the ducks and roosters.
I'll
See where
second,
that goes.
I'll second Dustin's motion.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to amend this ordinance, so we'll have to take that vote first, and then we will,
So, from the original ordinance, what has changed then?
Ducks and roosters are...
Because I believe those are the only two
that
additions.
was the reason why, and everybody kept adding
Because the
ducks.
5 chickens is the same, and
The 50 feet is the
50
same.
feet is the same.
It's all,
Now, section,
those are all in
Those all
there
in
before?
I heard peacock.
Well, the
Peacocks, that's,
Peacocks,
peacocks are added.
yeah.
Okay, all right, there's at least one, I just want to make sure we're not voting on the ordinance that's already on file.
It's my understanding the crux, what brought this was, is that when, I don't know if it was, maybe it was last year when we did a major overhaul of the animal control ordinance, this language or similar language was in there. It was not put in the new ordinance because we believed that our zoning code was addressing these issues, and we find out that the zoning code did not. So then we came back and we are amending the current animal control ordinance to reflect the language that was there previously, except we've clarified and we put an exception in it regarding the property that is zoned agriculture, because
Okay.
I was going to say the section 15 is new also, isn't it? That it's unlawful to keep or harbor livestock within the city limits unless it's zoned agriculture.
I think that was always in there previously. It may have been taken out in the last version of the ordinance last year, but prior to that, it was in there. But now we're putting it back in with the stipulation that unless it's zoned agriculture, because until the annexations took place a few years ago, we really didn't have agricultural zoned
But even
property.
after the annexation, there was agricultural property that wasn't zoned as such. I think zoning was kind of assigned erroneously based on what was in the area of the property in question. Because I know that, my family has 15 acres that's zoned commercial and industrial, but it's always been agricultural. And
With llamas.
it's
Your grandfather did.
specifically this llamas on here. We had llamas for more than 10 years. So,
Should
Her
we,
grandfather did.
if we change it, Sarah's going to come back to us and want us to redo something. Should we table it and have
Well,
Councilperson White talk to her and try to work
that was
his
supposed
deal
to
out?
happen last council meeting, so I'm getting a little frustrated for Sarah's part because she's like, I'm keep getting these complaints. Let's see how the vote goes. I mean, I understand I was the same for my district. I'd be right there as Dustin is, so, I mean, I respect what he's trying to do. I just know what Sarah's trying to do. I know the complaints. I know there are numerous
complaints have there been?
complaints on the, huh?
How many complaints have there been?
Quite a bit.
Yeah, she addressed that at the
And there's people
Do
even
we
have
have a
them in
number of
their,
complaints?
there's people that even have them in their
clerk's
front
office
yard.
gets the complaints.
Well, we don't know unless it's citation.
Mr. Merkley,
Have it.
I think you said something that I may have misunderstood. We passed an ordinance last year,
I believe it was last year. After a while, these years run together.
2016.
and this section 15 was not in there?
Section 15, I do not, I'm not
It was
positive.
not
I do
in
not-
there.
But it was in the, I believe it
Original.
was in the
Previous
The
one.
original,
prior one.
The section 15 is not current law.
No.
Okay.
But Sarah addressed that and said it was inadvertently left out, so she
Well,
wanted
whether
to
it was
have
inadvertently left out, with the amendment I talked about just now, this stuff is not, the last sentence isn't there with the 50 feet, and neither is the 5 chickens as we speak today.
No,
No,
no, the
They're in there.
feet's in
That's
there.
what I'm
Yeah.
asking.
I'm sorry, that part is there. It's the
Oh, lawful.
other animals,
The
section
llamas.
C.
Okay,
I apologize.
The
I
livestock
missed
agriculture.
it. Yeah.
all right. Just making sure I understand.
And then obviously, I mean, if somebody's got livestock and they're not zoned agriculture, I mean, obviously they're going to be grandfathered in, so I mean,
I understand roosters, why is ducks in there? Does anyone know? They noisy?
Somebody was walking a duck down Riverside Drive. I imagine.
I have
All
no,
kinds of animals.
There is a duck in Mr. Owen, by Mr. Owen's house that I know of,
Oh,
a
yeah.
pair.
They do have
Mean
some.
ones?
And they,
I forgot.
no, they're not mean, but they quack, and the neighbors have complained about them.
okay, so the motion and the second is to amend to remove roosters and ducks. So is there any further question or comment?
So that's all roosters and ducks.
Yeah, we're going to see how this, because
Are you
like I
gonna do
said,
roll
I'm
call?
going to
And this is just for an amendment, just for the amendment to,
To the,
remove ducks and roosters. Yes. So all those in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? Aye.
Okay, roll call. Councilperson White,
Aye.
Councilperson Sestavny.
No.
Councilperson Yon.
no.
Okay, Councilperson Maples.
Aye.
Councilperson Hawkins.
no,
Councilperson, President Gill.
No.
Councilperson Owen.
Aye.
Council, person Samuel.
No.
Huh?
Aye.
You said no, and then you said aye. Which-
Councilperson Ellis.
Yes. All right.
5. So you're gonna have roosters and ducks in the city limits.
Well,
Now we
then,
got to vote on it.
well, now they have to vote on the whole ordinance as amended. If there's a motion.
okay, do I have a motion to vote on 2017 OR 23 as amended?
And would this still be, it'd still be on the third reading, right? This would be the final?
Yes.
As amended?
And I'll make, if it passes, I'll make those changes and get them to the clerk.
I'll make the motion to move this along.
Do I have a second? Okay, we got a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Okay, let's do a roll call on this too, please.
Okay. Get my paperwork.
Do we have a motion and a second? I thought
Oh,
we
yeah,
did.
we did, but I'm just asking for the sake of discussion. I know that,
I'm not in favor of it as amended because the whole purpose of this was to address the roosters because of all the complaints. I do not have the specific number of complaints. That's something Sarah, I'm sure, can get out, but
I have a number of constituents that have roosters and more than 5 chickens, and one with a duck, to my surprise. But
May I ask
and they
a
are
question?
grandfathered in.
But I don't see why, well, from my perspective, I don't want to pass a law that affects 45,000 people based on a number of complaints, when these are things that I don't believe, from the conversations I've had, are hurting people. Some people are using them as pets, some people are using them for their food, and I think that's a good thing. So that's why I support them.
I would echo that, and that's why I voted no against the entire ordinance on all 3 readings, so.
Can I ask a quick question?
Well,
One quick question. Have you all ever considered people that are allergic to these animals?
Yes.
but that's the issue I even had in my neighborhood. They had more than the 5 chickens. They had a rooster. Our houses are close together. It was very hard. The smell, especially in the summertime, was horrible. I've personally called the health department. Now, you do have great owners that'll probably take care of things, but then you have the ones that don't, so.
I could be allergic to peanuts, and someone could have peanuts in their back. I mean, I just don't think we should be writing ordinances based on a potential allergy of someone. If that's what's being called the question.
Mr. Merkley, walk me through the process. If my neighbor, I get a new neighbor and he moves in and he gets a rooster, and at 5:30 every morning, the rooster crows and wakes everybody up, what then can I do about it?
Under which,
As it currently stands
as
now.
it currently stands, it's my understanding there's nothing we can do.
No, you cannot, there is no roosters. That's what we've always been told. You can have 5 chickens and no roosters. That's what planning and zoning tells people all the time, and that's what we've been told.
But that hasn't been accurate.
Yeah, but that's right. The ordinance doesn't say that. So my question is, can anything be done? Because I think the answer is no. Unless we say you can't have roosters.
Correct.
Then that means your neighbor could move in next to you, have 4 or 5 roosters, and destroy your life. Like, I don't understand why we would have roosters.
Told differently in a different meeting.
Well, because we have another
Raised.
issue, Les and I was working on
Yes.
another issue that is very similar to a noise problem.
Yeah,
And it's very difficult to
It's
do
very,
anything
I
about.
mean, we do have a noise ordinance, and from a legal standpoint, it's a good noise ordinance that'll be upheld. The problem is, it measures everything by decibels, which means to enforce it, we have to have someone with a decibel reader. Our police normally do not have decibel readers with them, so when they're called for a violation, and
And they have to be within like 15 feet of,
Yes,
it's just like, it's frustrating. So that's why I'm not going to vote for this, because I want roosters. Because I wouldn't want somebody to move in next to me that has a rooster to ruin my life. They have a right to have a rooster, then cut his throat or whatever, so he can't crow, or whatever, you decrow him, whatever you got to do, but I wouldn't want this, so I'm not going to vote for this.
I would like to ask one question. How many of you have ever been around roosters? How many of you hear roosters on a daily basis?
I did.
I did.
At my house when we were
Well,
on Utica
not now,
Pike.
but
Does it bother you as much as the television does that plays all night? Because there's a lot of people that have television or radio going continuously all night, and they can sleep with that. If a rooster crows next door to me, I just turn over and go back to
I
sleep.
mean, I hear dogs barking every night, you know?
I have a train that comes through at 3 a.m. and a rooster that wakes me up at 5 with the crack of dawn, and I love it.
you all
I think we ought to ban that.
I hear dogs barking every night Riverside.
I did.
Okay, I think we're,
It's like, I live in a peaceful area. I don't know where you guys
I
live.
have a good story to tell you. I wish I could jump in. but
Okay,
there's nothing to say.
y'all want a roll call?
Yeah, I'm calling the order
Councilperson
and
White.
Aye.
Councilperson Sestavny.
no,
Councilperson Yon.
No.
Councilperson Maples.
Aye.
Councilperson Hawkins.
no,
Councilperson Owen.
no.
Councilperson Samuel.
No.
Councilperson Ellis.
Yes.
Council President Gill.
No.
No's passed.
I never thought I'd see this ordinance fail. I'm just the only no vote so far.
I never thought
So
we'd
poor
spend
Sarah
so much
still
time
does
on
not have an ordinance.
We didn't change anything. Right.
For the
We changed nothing.
issues with the neighbors for the roosters, 32, 36, F second.
It failed.
So
And she's gonna
that
come back with
amendment
another,
failed.
Because she's not gonna be happy.
Well, that was the vote on the amendment.
That was the
No, that was the
Vote
ordinance.
on the amended ordinance.
Yeah.
The amended ordinance failed.
Right.
Now you gotta vote for the originally presented, correct?
Oh, that's it.
Well, that's what you voted to make.
We're back to,
So Sarah has to start all over?
we're gonna probably have a study committee. It's in this, we're gonna do like the General Assembly, we're
You
gonna
know what,
set
at
up a
this
study
point,
committee on
I think maybe we
roosters.
need to have a workshop, because this has been 3 meetings now. We've been discussing roosters,
Bring in
ducks,
roosters.
peacocks.
I think we should bring in one of these
Clear.
to see the noise that.
Stealing my idea.
I think the council's
spoken.
I think it's clear
All right.
that the point of contention is the roosters, and you either support the roosters being in there or you don't. So I don't know if we really need a workshop to determine if.
I thought it was the election, roosters or elephants.
Heather, 2017 OR 25, an ordinance transferring certain funds within the same department. This did pass first and second.
There's no changes to this transfer ordinance from the last meeting.
All right, can I have a motion, please?
Excuse me, so moved.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second to pass 2017 OR 25 and third and final. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries.
Perfect.
Heather, you're still up for 2017 OR 26, an ordinance of additional appropriation that passed in first and second.
There's no changes on this one either. This is
Okay,
for the
so-
safety issues.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open this up for public hearing. Is it on the screen?
Yeah.
Is there anybody here that wishes to speak for or against this additional appropriation? It is for safety measures to be installed or taken at the animal shelter. Okay, seeing none, I'm going to officially close the public hearing, and I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to pass 2017 OR 26 and third and final. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, new business. We've got an ordinance of additional appropriation, and our public hearing will be at 6:19 to 17. Heather, so you're on a roll.
All right. First one for the parks, I miscalculated on the ordinance that you probably did a couple of meetings ago. It was for 65,000 and it should have been for 68,000. So this is the 3,000 that they received from the UEZ for the K4 or the K4 security and the hamhead. So that was a miscalculation on my part.
Okay,
So this is just making up for that other 3,000.
And that 3,000 is money that we've received in from?
Yes, from UEZ,
UEZ.
yes. Mhm.
okay. Did you say what the 400 was for?
The 400 was, I think it was a, I'll have to get back with you on that one, I'm not exactly sure. It might have been a reimbursement for services that were not used. And then the last 3 are for the fire union contract increases, and I believe that you all received an email for that from Chief Hedrick.
Yes, we did, thank you. And I believe this will be ordinance number 27, correct?
I'll make a motion to approve on the first and second.
Second?
Got a motion, and a second, to pass 2017 OR 27 on the first and second reading. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries.
I do have a question on that one, now that we've passed it on the first and second.
I'll allow it, go ahead.
Thank you. Was the intent to have those additions come through from the negotiating committee? I was thinking that those things were going to start in 2018. The HSA contributions and the extra clothing and things, were those?
No, only
No,
the
that's-
pay. The previous contract had already negotiated their raise for 2017.
Right.
Everything other than that went back to the beginning of retro 2C.
I just wasn't clear on that. Thank you.
Vicki Collins, 2017 ORB 28, I suppose?
Yes.
An ordinance transferring certain funds within the same department for police merit?
27.
Right, I'm asking, I do the claims for police merit, and I've talked to Bobby Campbell and also Scott Aldridge. We are running short in our advertisement fund. They had advertised, we got a bill that was outrageous. They had, well, it was more than what we had budgeted for. And it was due to them, they did the experienced firefighters. And they're getting ready to do some more advertisements. So we suggested taking the $5,000 out of testing, which we have plenty in there, and moving it to the advertising. Going to be number 28.
Motion to approve 2017 OR 28 on the first and second reading.
Second.
Got a motion to pass 2017 OR 28. Got it first and 2 seconds, actually. Is there any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Now, we have the discussion, as you all know, our first meeting in July. That Monday, City Hall is closed, and also Tuesday. So we need to decide when our council meetings in July are going to be.
What I was asking, and we talked, and I said something to Lisa a while back, we have actually 5 Mondays in that month. And if we do it, if you have the meeting on the 5th, that isn't going to give the departments and everybody enough time to get everything in for the 17th meeting. So we were going to see just for this month if we could do the 10th and the 24th.
I know I was advised that we're going to have several people out of town that 5th week in July, so.
I'll be out of town the 10th.
24th, I think, is also Parks, isn't it? That's
Yeah, that'd be
earlier
the
than-
4th.
That's earlier than the normal.
Could we have the
Council
meeting on Wednesday?
Well, I mean, you all can do what you want. The only problem is that it cuts us short getting
Okay.
everything
Right,
done
so-
for the meetings, the next meeting. And cuts everybody else short, too.
Yeah, we have to adjust this plan.
Yeah, it's,
10th and 24th works for me, for whatever that's worth.
10th and 24th is fine with
I'll be
me.
gone the 24th, but no matter what you change it to, I'll probably be gone. So,
I'll be
Doesn't really
unavailable.
matter.
I'll be unavailable.
yeah, I'll be gone for 2 weeks, so.
Okay. Do we need a motion for that then, or not?
I believe so, because we're going to have to change the advertisement. It's going to have to be advertised.
We've got enough for a quorum.
Yeah.
I'll be out the 10th.
Okay.
I'll be there.
I'll be there.
I'll be
I'll be
there.
there.
10th is
Okay,
good.
okay.
I'll be there 24th.
Okay, all right.
So advertise for the 10th and the 24th.
Yes.
So moved.
Second.
We got a motion and second to change our council meetings and have them advertised for July 10th and July 24th. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, motion carries.
And then we'll just have our normal meeting.
Yeah, then
August
October,
7th.
yeah, August will go back to the regular.
Okay. And there's still 2 weeks between. That makes sense. Okay.
Larry, do you have any council attorney report for tonight?
I have set my peacocks on, and I will not have roosters.
Okay. All right, I do not see any department heads here.
I think we do.
Do we have public comments?
Vicki, let me ask you, do I need to send you?
Okay, I do know Michael, he's here with the AHS. I think he is going to give us, I sent out an email briefly letting you all know, but he is going to deliver the good news.
First of all, I'd like to thank the council. 2.5 years ago, you guys voted to put in a primary health care clinic for the employees of the city and the council members. In 2.5 years, we've seen tremendous participation from the city, the fire department, and the public works department. Last year, the council and the mayor approached AHS about looking for quote-unquote roommates, partners to come in to help obviously reduce the burden and the cost for the exclusivity that the council and the city had. I'm pleased to announce that last Thursday, the county voted to participate and become a partner with the city and join the city in the participation of the clinic. In March, we renewed the contract, and we had a formula for reducing the cost to the city, okay, per number of members coming in. As it stands right now, we're looking at what that actual number will be. The county was voting as to how they would participate with retirees. I'm also aware that the county has part-time individuals. So that number probably will be north of 315 for sure. Whether it's 350, 400, we don't know as of yet. But we will be going through those motions in the next 30 days to determine that. I'll get back with the council potentially the end of June, attend the meeting, and potentially let Lisa and the rest of the council know what that number will actually be.
Sorry, when you say 350 to 400, what are you?
There are approximately 350 people on the health plan for the county, and we would typically count that, but there's retirees in there, and I think the council, the county commission is determining how they will participate in the program, so we don't have an exact number as of yet. Okay?
Thank you.
And I think if everything goes well, it may not, but if it does, then they will start using it in August.
August 1st was the effective date for them to come on board, and we are going through open enrollment with the county right now, doing communications. The end of June is when we'll begin enrolling the number of employees that will be coming on board. Correct. We had our nurse practitioner that was with us for a year and a half in the clinic. Took another position with a company out of Evansville. So we conducted a search and trying to find the right personality that would continue the growth and the utilization the clinic was using. I'm pleased to announce we found a wonderful young lady that has decided to join us. She comes with tremendous experience in pediatric care, emergency care, and has been managing one of the little clinics in primary care for a couple of years. So her maturity in working and managing personnel is exceptional. I will tell the council that if I had to make a choice, and I will have to make a choice, I would probably have her as my nurse practitioner. Okay, she is that good. We intend to have a day or so in which obviously the council members, the city, to get to know Nicole, and then we're also going to look at probably having a couple of days at the police department, the fire department, some places for her to go out and meet the employees and the constituents, if you will.
Do you have a start date for her?
I believe she is going to start June 19th.
Okay.
We've got days covered with PRNs in between there, okay? We've had a couple of PRNs that most of the community is familiar with and has seen. We were trying to get her as quickly as we could, but she has made a commitment to finish out some things with her existing employment. But I believe the council and the city and the employees and their dependent members will really enjoy her personality. I liked her a lot when we interviewed her.
I look forward to meeting her.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I did, the email I did say, we have not had an insurance committee meeting in a while. So once you get all your data together,
Yep.
which Kim said, we're right, we need to schedule one. So, which as you all know, Ed and I serve on that from the council. So.
Yeah. Question for you. With the additional folks on the plan, do you plan on adding another location or expanding services or expanding hours? Or or are we good as is, in your opinion?
Good question. We have a metric in place for right at where the total employee count was going to go as to whether or not we would bring on a second practitioner to keep the scheduling going, okay? We have an existing clinic in which we are right at that number as well. And in the time period that we've had that number, which is right around 700 employees total in that clinic, we haven't added because we haven't seen the stress of the schedule, if you will, okay? Very much flexible, okay? Very much flexible in whether or not the hours of either weekend or what have you command that. We've had our eye on a second partner for about a year, and that was the school system, and they have an existing care center. We made a presentation to the school system last year, and they have retained the existing manager there for at least this time period. The thought process would be if we brought them on as a partner, we would have two, that existing one, this one here. And I made the comment, I have some news that I would like to bring back to the council in the next 30 to 45 days, but at this time, I've got some confidentiality that I can't. That would be very good, and I think the council and the city would be very pleased with what we're trying to do. Yeah.
So we'll just have to keep, I guess, monitoring who comes on board and all, because I will say, my daughter works for an OBGYN, and her throat was hurting today, and they immediately said, go get checked, because she had strep. They didn't want her around any of the patients. So she was able to get in and out and cleared back to work, and she didn't miss a beat.
We will not stress, I can tell you as the CEO and president of the company, we will not stress the scheduling and the time for people to go in and to be seen. That is paramount. We have learned from discussions and research with existing healthcare systems that will not be compromised at all. That's why we have the parameters that set it where we are, for whether or not we bring on another one. We made some commitments to the county on participation in getting that up. Quite frankly, the city and the city of Jeffersonville's utilization has increased year over year and is approaching right at about 50%. So we're very pleased with the participation, and I think once we see the cost reduction come back in, we will see a very good ROI for the city and the investment they've made.
I appreciate all your hard work in this, because you know I've been pushing for you, for us to get a partner, and I want to publicly thank, because I immediately called Commissioner Connie Sellers, and we've been working on it and working with you, and Kim's been involved, and let me tell you, she was a little firestorm. She was pushing it through the county, and I'm glad we got it. I told Kim and I owed her a lunch date. But I want to publicly thank her, because she worked very well, got all the information, plus being on the council while we were setting this up, that she was very knowledgeable of it. But thank you for all your hard work.
Do we need a name and an address for the record? I don't think.
Yes, and I have it on here, but you can go ahead and state your address for the record.
It's the corporate address at this time is 2843 Brownsboro Road, Suite 201. It's over in Louisville, 40206.
Great.
What was your last name, Michael?
Dees, Michael Dees, Dees.
Just want to make sure we had it.
Yeah. I'd just like to say for the record, I've experienced over the last couple of weeks a couple of commissioner meetings, and this was my second city council meeting to attend, obviously 2.5 years ago. And it is absolutely a joy to see the healthiness of politics and things work, even in the debate of chickens and peacocks and things like that. I think every civics class should bring their class and sit and watch this unfold.
Well, I appreciate you do have 9 of us with different opinions, and I love that y'all can respect each other's opinions for their districts and all.
It is really comforting. I'm not kidding you. I'm as dead serious as I can be. It is comforting to watch the business of city and council and county unfold the way that it does. It really does. I appreciate each one of you. Thank you for your service. Yeah.
So, from a business perspective, as many people sign up to know what you look for, but we'll also help from the city's perspective, more people, let's say, of government,
Point of order.
is able to join the.
Do me a favor and rephrase your question one more time so I can understand.
I couldn't answer it very well.
It's okay. No, I'm hearing them.
First question, you said your plan depend on the type of health insurance? Anyway, is that?
No, it does not.
So, does it help the city if another subunit of government also joins as well?
The way the formula is built in for the reduction of the cost of the city is the more partners. And what we made to the commitment to the council would be that the city would have the ability to view what partners would come in. The city was the anchor client in building it, and so we feel like we owe that obligation back to the city to see what partners would come in, would be good partners. But at this point, the way the formula is written, the more partners we bring in, the cost gets reduced down to the city. That is correct. Okay? Thank you very, very much, each of you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next, I have Lincoln Crum, so if you please come up and state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes. Looks like you have citations on 9th and Mechanic.
My name is Lincoln Crum. I own the house with my wife at 813 Mechanic, 2 blocks down the street. And the property next to us at 819 Mechanic has been a problem for quite some time. We've been there going on 6 years. Last 2 years, a tenant moved in and they have multiple dogs that are chained up 24 hours a day. And everybody has known about it. I wrote an email to Mary Fry at Code Enforcement last August, had conversation back and forth. The mayor's office, I talked to Les, he says they didn't know anything about it. The mayor claims that he did know about this issue. I'm here because we posted some pictures on Facebook of an eviction on the corner of 9th and Mechanic that happened starting last Thursday and happened over the weekend, and it is an absolute disgrace. Somebody evicted the owner of the property, Mr. Bob Taylor's here. He evicted the people, and it's a mess. I'll let him talk. But the problem is we have dogs. We have 4 dogs. If they're on a leash, they're on a chain. We've communicated multiple times over the past year, 2 years actually, but the past year documented. And man, nothing gets done. And so it's my understanding citations have been written. So our number one question is, what can we do as neighbors? What can we do to make sure that those citations get enforced and these people clean up their property? The guy that cuts our grass cuts their grass for them for free because they can't cut it. It's a mess. It's all grown up. It's a disaster. So what can we do on the citation thing to make sure that that gets done? And there are animals that are in grave danger right now. And I am here asking what to do because my city councilman said, show up in the meeting tonight. Explain to the council what your issue is. And that's what I'm doing. I talked to Les. He said that they're going to do the citations and they're going to do something about it. But I'm telling you, I've been in front of this council a bunch in my career. And very rarely, if ever, will I complain about something residential where I live. But there are kids and animals in harm's way. All I'm asking is do something about it.
Well, Lincoln, I talked with Sarah. She called me today to bring this to my attention. I don't get on Facebook as much. It's my understanding that one of her officers did come out today and 3 citations were issued. So that will go through. It will make sure, I'm sure he's aware of this now, that'll go through. And I do know, I'm going to let the clerk speak because she did some due diligence in trying to find, and you didn't find any history that what we...
We're going to stop real quick. So, Mr. Carney, you had 57, or excuse me, I went to hand off, I don't do math. 7, that makes 2, 47 seconds. So you guys can talk, but I'm just going to let him know when you start back, I'm going to get your clock. Go ahead.
Okay. I get when a ticket is written, they come through the clerk's office. We enter them into the system. We send the letters. If they don't pay, we notify the attorney. We have 1 date a month set aside for period toss for people to come in. In saying that, in 2016, if there was any citations written, they cannot be accountable due to the fact is we did not have an ordinance violation bureau at that time. County court or county circuit courts will not hear Jeffersonville ordinance violations. That's why we set them up.
So where do we go from here?
Well, we've got the 3 today, and we do have them, and we've already got them entered.
There was this, Lincoln, there was basically this gray period in between when the last city council voted to get rid of city court, which handled those, and now the new ordinance bureau that this council has set up. There was a time period in which these things slipped through because there was no vehicle to do anything about it. But now there's a vehicle and 3 today.
I think Les is going to address something. Go ahead, Les.
I mean, the clerk is correct. First of all, this is the first time I've heard about any problems with this property at 819 Mechanic Street. The mayor's office found out at 3:30 this afternoon that there was garbage or debris or whatever at the curbside, and we were notified by the mail carrier. It's my understanding that was started being collected there late Thursday, Friday, for the weekend. We'll have it cleaned up by the end of if the property owner does not have it cleaned up, we'll have it cleaned up. The city will by the end of the day tomorrow. Obviously, we can't deal with issues that we're not aware of. Once we became aware of it this afternoon, I think we addressed it as quickly as possible. The issues regarding this property, regarding there was, I believe I was copied, or I was not copied. I now have copies of like 4 or 5 emails that all took place in a 4 or 5 day period in August of last year between the residents of the area and code enforcement. I believe there was an issue of grass cutting. I believe the city did cut it once. There is a process that we have in place by ordinance for us to, before we can cut grass, we have to give the property owner a notice. We just can't go on the property and start cutting grass. They have a right to correct it themselves and even appeal that if they want. Unfortunately, we have due process in this country. As far as I know, when I walked in at 6 o'clock, it was still there. But, to insinuate that this administration or this city has looked the other way when it comes to this property or any property, I find offensive. If it's an issue that we are made aware of, we address it. If the property owner, I've got the floor right now.
I was going to ask if I could have my other 40 seconds.
Okay.
When he gets finished, you get your 47 seconds to address your matter.
I think simply picking up the phone and calling the mayor's office or calling the street department would be a better way to address the issue as opposed to posting on Facebook and an attempt to get as many likes and comments as one can get within an hour. Regarding the animals, we issued 3 citations today. I was not last year, where there were no citations because, again, there was no ordinance violation bureau in place. Prior to last year, it would have been through Jeffersonville City Court. I can tell you right now, my office, we prosecute those ordinance violations, and we're going to prosecute it. If there's a violation, we're going to prosecute and we're going to enforce. I really don't see where, I understand there's a concern if you live next to a neighbor, but to insinuate that this administration or this city does not take someone's concerns seriously, I think is a slap in the face not only to the administration, but to the city council.
Hey, hold on just a second. Lincoln, you can go up there, but Callie, I believe, had a comment, but I let Mr. Merkley go in case he might answer it, but I do want to give Callie a chance to say what she wanted to say earlier. Did you start to speak up? Is there anything that you needed to?
I don't remember that, but I will say.
I remember that.
Never once missed an
Okay, then,
Of course
Mr.
not.
Lincoln, go. Oh, did you have something?
Now she does.
Okay.
I'll just say that in the past, I appreciate that you're coming and alerting this, and I think it's the right thing to do to, get whatever issues you have and bring them to the right avenue. I will say that I've had constituents that have had issues with, properties that maybe haven't been kept, and this was actually last year, and after contacting code enforcement and having, once the citations were sent and letters were sent, it was resolved pretty quickly. So I'm optimistic that now that the process is in place, that the right avenues will be followed. Obviously, continue with your
Thank you.
time.
I wasn't insinuating. I made a complaint in August and nothing happened. Nothing. And this is about the dogs. Those dogs are being tortured and they are chained up with chains. There's 5 kids that live in a 1.5, 2-bedroom house. I'll let the landlord deal with that. But these dogs are going to die. And we've been saying that for a long time. Thank you.
Thank you, Lincoln.
When did we pass that ordinance?
So, for the council's edification, Mr. Taylor, the gentleman who came in and asked me to inquire as to whether or not you all would vote to yield an opportunity for him to speak. He was not here at the beginning, and apparently Mr. Taylor owns the property.
We drove down from Bloomington.
To speak, so you all can, I can make a motion that will allow him 3 minutes to address the council and public.
Make a motion if you'll sign public comment.
Yeah, I'll second.
All right. First, second, get the vote.
You get 3 minutes.
I mean, you got to vote.
Thank you, everyone.
Oh, wait a second, Mr. Taylor. There was a
Well, I know, but I want to let him know you only have 3 minutes.
It won't take
All those in
3.
favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
I just want to let you know.
Wait, hold.
Remember that due process speech that Les gave us? We got to go through the due process.
So my clock doesn't start yet.
No, you're fine. I'm the guy
I'm
with the
confused
clock.
now.
I'm standing here.
All right, well, after 2 hours, so.
I understand.
Your time starts after your name.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
His time's not starting until after you write. But I do want to say, your response, I'm not getting in the middle of an argument here.
No, that won't happen at all.
But
No, I'm not going
Facts or state your, I'll be glad to listen.
Just to let you all know who I am, I don't know too many people in the current city of Jeff, but I'm Bob Taylor, I'm a banker. I was president of United Way here in town, Fund for the Arts, Rotary Club. I brought with Mayor Galligan the barge down on the riverfront, and the Coots family is my father-in-law. He's deceased now. I own many, many properties. I've never been fined anything. I came down here because I heard that Mr. Crum was upset about a house that we supposedly evicted people, and I was pretty slandered today on Facebook, and my generation didn't get on Facebook. But my wife informed me about it, and I did not evict the tenant at 9th and Mechanic. The tenant at 9th and Mechanic, which is unrelated to this house, but that's the pictures posted all over the place, actually has a serious medical condition. I believe he may be deceased. He's been gone for a month from the house. A month. Vicki knows my history. He's been gone from the house a month, and I called every hospital I could find, Clark Hospital, Floyd. I was heard he was at some rehab place, I don't know, Kindred. I called there. The man they think is deceased. Did not evict him, even though he owed me $2,800. In fact, I paid a $700 sewer bill with the city so he could stay alive because he had to have water. We did over the weekend decide that we can't find this guy. And so we placed the stuff out in the front yard, and I called the city this morning and told him it was a mess and paid him $75, my wife did, to have it removed. So that's the bad pictures out on Facebook that I've been libeled and slandered about. In terms of the other house, I know absolutely nothing about the dogs. I collect rent from the guy, he pays real well. I've seen some dogs there, but I know nothing about the dogs. I know he cut his grass just a couple of days ago. Okay, I know that they don't like each other, and I'm sorry about that, but I don't know what I can do about that. He says he's been trying to buy my properties for a number of years, and he came to my house one time unsolicited, knocked on my door, scared my daughter, and I'm not selling my house. But to be honest with you, I thought this was about 9th and Mechanic, and guys, I paid $75 to have that taken care of. So I'm sorry, I thought it was about 9th and Mechanic because that's what's all over Facebook, except for the fact that I'm a slumlord. I don't care. I'm cheap, and I think anybody knows me. Galligan wanted me to be his deputy mayor. I accepted it, then I rejected it because I didn't want to deal with the crap that you guys have to deal with. So as CEO of a bank, I deal with a lot of crap. That's all I got to say. The stuff at 9th and Mechanic's gone. If y'all have a problem with the dogs, I'll do what I can to do it, but I don't see any starving dogs. Thanks a lot.
Mr. Taylor, will you state your address for the record, please?
412 East Maple Street in Jeffersonville, Indiana. The house that we moved from the funeral home in 1989, it dropped in the middle of the street for 2 weeks. Sorry about that too, but I took care of that too.
Thank you.
Your address is 412 Maple.
That's what he wrote. 412 East Maple. Okay, now I have Stacy Thomas for drainage repairs. State your name and address for the record, please.
Stacy Thompson, 3120 Georgian Way, Jeffersonville.
Okay, what's going on, Stacy?
You can start the timer if you'd like. We moved into Foxborough about a little over a year ago, and had major drainage issues in our basement, in our backyard. And I just want to come and publicly thank all of you guys for everything that you did, especially Callie, to help us get the drainage people out there and get everything fixed. I had a whole thing that I was going to say, but now I'm so flustered that I don't even know if I can go through it. I haven't been able to come to a meeting since Josh has passed away, so I'm glad to be back. But, you know, all of this started back in August of 2016. and it was just an ongoing issue and an ongoing process of phone calls with Andy and people coming to our property and utilities. There was all kinds of things involved. So again, I just want to say thank you to everyone. Everybody did a
Poor wife, I know that
fantastic job.
she was at the house, I think, when we met,
Yes.
dealing with it, so.
Yes, we made several phone calls, but had lots and lots of support. So thank you. You guys do a great job.
Okay, thank you.
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you again.
Okay, we're moving on to council comments, so Councilperson White.
Thank you. Just want to say that we were very successful with the Abbey Road on the River event with its inauguration in the great city of Jeffersonville, and I'm very proud of the organizers and the work of the Parks Authority and everyone else who may have been involved that I don't know about. I just want to say thank you for doing a great job. And I don't know what that was all about, but I think it's what I did in fact say, hey, there's a council meeting tonight, and this is a place where people can be heard. I have mentioned from time to time that we might want to think about regulations or an ordinance that governs properties that are that governs landlord-tenant relationships. Of course, we can't preempt the state law, but if there are certain things we can do to make sure that absentee landlords, not saying that he was one, I don't know anything about that situation. But I do know there are abandoned properties where a landlord has rented it out year after year, and then all of a sudden it's almost fallen down, and then no one's renting it, and it just sits there. So if it's a conversation that people are willing to have, then
Yes.
I'm open for that conversation. However, and whatever may come out, nothing may come out, but if we can have that conversation, if there's something we can do, then I'm happy to engage in that conversation.
On another note, Councilperson White, was Jeff Fest this Saturday?
Yes.
How did that go? I was in a health fair all day.
It went well.
Good,
Well,
good.
Yes. So I'm sorry I left that out. Jeff Main Street is always doing a good job with events, and then we had the Crashers on Friday night.
Woo!
So we've been kind of.
You're rocking and rolling in District 1. There you
It's hard
go.
to keep up.
Okay, thank you. Councilperson Etzi.
Go Cavs.
Councilperson Gahn.
We can come back, I know we can.
I see Parks Authority President Bill Burns is here. I just want to commend the Parks Authority. I'm sure Matt probably has a comment in a bit. I know the Save the Fieldhouse event was this past weekend. I think it was very successful from what I hear, and I love the public-private partnerships that are happening. I think it's a model that we should continue to do when we look at some of these renovations that are needed. So thank you for your leadership on that, and also Paul Northam. So that's my only comment.
Okay. Councilperson Maple.
I would like to thank Jeffersonville Police. They assisted the Clark County Sheriff's Office on a serious incident the night that Abbey on the River was going on. And due to their assistance, it actually never affected it, which it could have been a dangerous situation. So big props to them. Also, I'd like to commend, what was the guy's name that was the landlord?
Bob Taylor.
Mr. Taylor.
For coming down and defending himself in the era of slander via Facebook that sometimes is meritless. And no further comment.
Okay. Councilperson Hawkins.
I would like, and this affects two people on this council, I would like to congratulate, I would have to say, my favorite graduating class of all time from Jeffersonville High School, class of 2017, in Charlestown and Silver Creek as well, but this Jeff class has a very special group, so congratulations for not messing up your kid too bad. And then I give myself that same congratulations, and it's a great graduating class. And the graduation's this Saturday. If you've never witnessed a Jeff High graduation, it is a spectacle. Get there early, and you'll sit very far away. It's an interesting day. So.
Well, you're proud parents, but I'm a proud aunt. Josie. Okay, Councilperson Owen.
A couple of things. Wanted to echo some of the comments already made about the Hoopsters event. It was a huge success for the Fieldhouse on this past Saturday. We had a great crowd come out and support those efforts. And without saying too much, I just want to convey these events such as the open house and now the Hoopsters event have really built some momentum behind the Parks Authority and behind the subcommittee that's been organizing this. We've had some great conversations with potential donors who have noticed what we're doing and noticed the public engagement and who are very anxious to talk about how they can be involved. And we're talking about some potential heavy hitters, which is very encouraging. I'm going to pass out some invitations, 3, 4, 5, 6, for our next event, which is a breakfast event at the field house on June the 15th. Everyone on the council is welcome to attend. We have a steering committee put together that Bill and I are leading, who have really helped us reach out to potential donors and send out invitations so they can come into the field house and get a feel for what we want to do. And at that event, we're going to ask them to help us out with some donations. But everyone is welcome from the council to attend. The clerk's office is welcome to attend so that we can kind of throw another pitch out to another group. We're looking forward to it. It'll be a catered event, a catered breakfast, and we think we're going to yield some very positive results from that event. The other thing, Abbey Road, again, as someone's already mentioned, very successful. We've estimated crowd at about 20,000, maybe a little less because of the weather, a couple of days at Abbey Road. But the producer I spoke to on Friday night during the event, and he said that it was the all-time best sales they had had for a Friday night. And they sang the praises of the Parks Department, the Street Department, everybody that pitched in. And I did not get the first complaint. I don't know if anybody else received any concerns from residents or business owners, but I didn't get any complaints, which I expected to get some for being the first year. So kudos to Abbey Road, their production crew, and to the Parks Department.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes, ma'am.
On this field house, the class, of course, I'm a graduate of Jeff High many moons ago. Dinosaurs were around. And a lot of the people that my classmates and 68s, the 60s, have asked if there's a Facebook page or something that they can go to and where they can send donations, because a lot of them live all over the United States.
Yeah, we would love to make those connections if you could help us with that. We do have a Facebook page that we could push them towards, or we have the online platform to give donations. We've been looking for ways to engage graduates from both Jeff High and Providence, because Providence was there for a long time too.
They don't belong. So sorry. My sister went to Providence. She doesn't belong. They just played basketball there.
Bill, I don't know if you would if it's appropriate for him to add anything for that.
I would just say drive them to the website, savethefieldhouse.net. There's a
Can you send a link?
Yeah.
Send me a link and then we can do it.
Button, and then there's a button how you can mail a donation.
Okay, because they've asked me. I mean, I've got them from Ohio and everywhere.
And the only last thing, I would say that any time that I've received complaints about grass or property conditions, any time that I've reached out to code enforcement on those types of things, which happen quite often, those issues get resolved, and it's never a quick process. But I do want to appreciate the code enforcement officers who do a good job and put in a lot of effort to make sure that things are kept up. And sometimes it doesn't move as quickly as we'd like, but they do move, and we appreciate that.
Councilperson Ellis.
First, I would like to say I would like to thank our Creator for the grace and mercy that He had upon Scotty.
Yes.
Go Lucy. Scotty's daughter and my grandson played soccer together. It's been a joy to be out there and watch them play. And when it comes to Save the Field House, I'm probably the oldest Jeffersonville graduate sitting in here. And I spent many many a day. As a matter of fact, that's where I actually took Jim at, was in the field house. And I'll do everything that I can to help save it. That's all I have.
Okay, Councilperson Samuel.
Two things. First, last Thursday, June 1st, we had an arts community event down at the Grand Wells building, and it really focused and highlighted about the Arts and Cultural District. Had different departments there representing the city, explaining what the district is and how it might be sustained and things. It was attended by probably at least 80 people, and if I'm using Ron's preacher count, I'm going to say 110 people. But it was attended by a lot of folks in the area and a lot of artists. It was really positive, and a lot of momentum is coming with our Arts and Cultural District, which is really positive. And the last thing I'd like to...
Yeah, we're going to hit the lights.
Okay, the last thing I'd like to do is show you
There we
quickly. I think there's 10 pictures, if I'm thinking correctly. It doesn't matter. If you can see it, it's fine. This past weekend, we did our utility box paintings, where we had 13 of them painted. 3 of them are still in process because there was some question about rain, that we thought it might rain. So our arts administrator gave them longer to do them. So I just thought I may show you some pictures, and it's really positive. It's a great thing to do. That's over by Southeast Christian at the end of
That one looked like
Town
he was
Center.
spray painting.
He did.
He do that all by
Really,
spray
yeah,
painting?
he
That's
did.
amazing.
It took him a little bit longer than 1 hour. It's amazing.
Wow.
Anyway. Yeah, this is down at the Eastern Boulevard and Spring. I don't know if I'll be able to tell where everyone is. That's about across from the hospital emergency room. This is at Wall and Court. There's a bank there.
Can't remember that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
That one's actually on Veterans Parkway in front of Heine's.
Okay. Okay.
This next one's by the courthouse.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love
courthouse.
that one.
I ran into her while she was
Did you?
painting.
I did too. It's awesome.
No, I didn't distract her too much.
That's at 8th and Penn. 8th and Penn.
Tar painting.
And if you well, can you go back? This unique thing, the little hand, the elephant trunk is actually the handle to open the box.
There's a fish, they painted the fish as a handle.
Okay,
Back on the one with
so that was good.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, and I think this is the last one, and this is down at 8th and Crestview, is it, or Crestwood? It's, am I thinking right?
Mahan, 8th and Mahan, Crestview, right
Something
there
like
where
that.
they come together.
Right there across from the swing sculpture that there's a baseball. So really neat things, and we'll have 3 more that we'll have done, and going really well. So thanks for,
I think they're cool.
you will, I will just go ahead and add this, that there's one that's in Josh's district, well, Josh was at large, we're near Josh where he lived. It's at near Kiwanis, and
At 8th and Kiwanis.
8th and Kiwanis. And in the picture, it just so happened this way, there is one silhouette of a person standing there, and we put it there just kind of as a subliminal thing of memorializing Josh, but it doesn't say anything about that on there. But if you go by, you'll notice that, and kind of in his district, we thought that was kind of a neat, when we were placing them, that's where we did it. So that's it. Thank you.
I like how many of them are tied to Jeffersonville too. There's several that have things around town.
The one that we didn't see, sorry, Water Park one is going to be really neat. It's has Jefferson's on it, and it's really neat. And we got some artists from Louisville and from all around, so really neat.
We did I was meeting with Don, we pulled the mayor and did a Mayor's Choice Award. Did you point out which one it was his? Oh, you didn't?
No, I didn't. I don't know
The
which
one
one
with
it is.
the barn and the silo and, I didn't.
Or is
did I
it the
see-
one that looks like the quartermaster?
Yeah.
Go up to, yes.
Oh, is that it?
Or not the quartermaster, down there on,
Well, we enjoyed going around, my daughter and I, maybe Parks Department has some little tents or something. Boy, they all look so hot out there. They were working so hard. It was extremely hot. That might be something that we could do, but I think, Matt, I'll yield to you. You have something else?
Hey, if you were finished.
I'm done.
I just wanted to thank Captain Moreland in the back of the room for always being here for us. You never know when somebody's going to get upset about roosters and llamas, so.
I was actually,
There'll be no action tonight.
I actually wanted to thank you too, and I'm just really glad that Sarah called me, or I would have had no idea what the heck was going on. And sitting here as president trying to keep, I'm just really glad at the way that she betrayed to me on that phone conversation is they're doing all that they can. That these three, they're going to take it very seriously. She says she talked to you multiple times today, so I really think moving forward it'll work its way out that this, and I for one have never called animal control or code enforcement that they haven't addressed things and been out there, but they have to abide by the law. The neighbors aren't happy about it if you have to give them 30 days, 15 days or whatever, but they have to follow the law.
And I will say to Sarah's credence, I mean, she contacts me quite often about issues with animals, and if she does believe, or one of her personnel believe that an animal is in danger, I will tell you right now that she will call my office and she will not hesitate to go on anyone's property, doesn't matter who it is, and, take care of that animal as necessary. So, and it's my understanding that Sarah has indicated to me, and she's indicated the same thing to you, Lisa, that this doesn't give to that rise that an animal would, I mean, she calls me over the weekend when she believes there's an issue, but this is not one of them. Now, obviously, they've been cited, but that's different than us going in unilaterally without any notice to the property owner and remove an animal.
And she did ask me to state tonight that she hasn't received a call from it. How she knew about this was somebody tagged her on Facebook.
Yes.
Had they had a call or complaint, she would have acted on it, but I guess somebody tagged her, and that's how she found out about it. So I might encourage that whoever to make sure you call, that they understand what's going on.
Animal control was out there at 10 o'clock this morning. The first ticket he brought, 8:40, the first ticket he brought in, and then he brought in about 10, didn't he? First ticket he brought in was at 8:40 this morning, so he had already been out there before all this.
And I guess I'm missing the thing, because they were out there. They were out there this morning. She said they were out there 3 times, so I feel like they're addressing the issue.
Well, and regarding the debris that's at the curbside, it's my understanding there was some there Friday. The city picked that up. It was there. More went out over the weekend. The police, I guess, were on the scene on Sunday, and the police said, well, there's nothing we can do. They contacted the property owner, and the property owner said he can't get a dumpster over the weekend, and he would get one as soon as possible, and then that's how we got to where we're at, so.
Okay, thank you. And Heather, I apologize, I meant to talk to you about this earlier. I know that what's new this year that's been developed by DLGF is that they require a report that was due today for pre-budget within the gateway budget. Done, everything was, okay, great, that's good news. So I don't have anything else, so if we have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Meeting adjourned.